Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another live stream of Hearthstone. Today is Monday, November 5th, and we've got a decent amount of stuff to do. Things have been updated. 4 new cards have been added to the classic set apparently. We can now craft them or find them inside classic packs. I guess for my main account in particular, this will be great because it means there's a decent chance now I'll start getting these cards when I open classic packs instead of just getting a bunch of cards that are getting turned to dust. Now the question is, where were these cards from before? I don't recognize these. Like, it seems like this. Deal 2 damage to a minion if it's frozen, draw a card. I don't recognize this. Add a random mage spell to your hand. There was a card like that, but I don't think it was called Tome of Intellect. So it seems like they've made new art and copied the ideas from previously existing expansions. That's kind of weird. As for the daily quests, we need to play shaman cards and watch a friend. So if we can just spectate Tragic Master right now, that will be good. And then I can try and burn through the news, and we can try to have a quicker experience, so I can go back to the end of the year footage that I'm recording. I did games starting with the letter R, I believe, and it was a pretty long one, and I suspect S will be a pretty long one too, and then T almost certainly is going to be an incredibly long one. And then after that though, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z might all be particularly short episodes. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. First article we have is TechRaptor talking about this same article from 3 days ago, November 2nd. Steam developer called out by community for stealing games. I don't believe there's been any kind of update to the story at all. So, the question, I suppose, falls to Valve still. If there's no update, there's been really no update. Yeah, I guess there's really nothing you can say other than yeah, unless this developer just quietly disappeared without anybody checking. Let's see, we could click on this game. Notice you're leaving Steam. Continue to an external site. I wasn't on Steam in the first place. I don't understand why that worked that way. I would think the way this would work is clicking on these would take me to the Steam store. There we go. Yeah, and this developer hasn't released anything, it seems, in a couple days. But he's also still definitely on Steam. So yeah, there's been no upgrade, no update to that story. I wouldn't be surprised if there is an update, or if there isn't ever an update. So let's move on. We've got a troll game on Steam called Incel, as an involuntary celibate clicker. I don't need to show that off at all, so we'll close that. The biggest news, and we'll get to it maybe with a little bit more details, but there really isn't too much details, is the announcement of Diablo Immortal. I thought when I first heard it and talked about it last stream that they were leaving the door open for it to potentially have a desktop version. In the Q&A where people were very unhappy and were being less than polite, one would say, to the person on stage, they clarified that actually no, they have no intention of putting a desktop version of the game out, which seems like they didn't even dangle that as a carrot, which I would have dangled that as a carrot. Frankly, the whole announcement was handled poorly. The person on stage should he would have done better if he just said, "Alright guys, sorry, we're running out of time." I mean, you could have even blamed the delay of the microphone problems as a way to avoid answering questions. Tragic Master says, "Yo man, need a win?" Yeah, it's a watch and learn, so I need you to win if you can. Let's see. But there's slightly more to the story when we get to it that now is that's come out now, that some news reporting sites, and I've just seen the headline so far, are reporting that Diablo 4 was going to be announced and it was pulled at the last second. And that would be kind of cool, certainly, if that's why the microphones were cut off. They literally at the absolute last second absolutely at the last second pulled the announcement. I don't know why you pulled the announcement though. So alright, we've got the watch and learn. Thank you, Tragic. Tragic says smiley face on the chat. So since they added like 4 new classic cards, theoretically, if there is actually a factor here that will give you cards you don't have, theoretically, of these 5 cards, I would say almost all of them should be new. And this is an epic at least, so we're gonna get some dust if nothing else. That's old. That's old. That's old. That's old. Also, none of these are gold either. See, Hearthstone could really be a lot nicer too as far as the drop rates. Yeah, that's old too. So while I got some dust there, that doesn't really solve anything. We're collecting dust for the next expansion, I suppose. Alright, now we just need to play Shaman cards. Easy enough. Find the Shaman deck. That's not the Murloc deck. Even Shaman, here, play. And we go. TechCraft has an article, Warcraft 3 Reforged revealed at BlizzCon coming in 2019. I really don't think I'm super interested in playing Warcraft 3, but I might play it. I've heard it is also retconning some of the canon. I'm not sure if this is retconning canon, particularly from World of Warcraft that was established, or if it's retconning canon that was established in Warcraft 1 or 2.
I will fight with honor.
But I think that's probably a complaint that pedantic super fans of of Warcraft are going to have. Inherently, this is the problem for Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, and also the thing they should have seen coming a million miles away, is that fans of Warcraft, fans of World of Warcraft, fans of StarCraft, fans of all the Blizzard properties have one very specific thing in common. They are super fans. And they are old school PC gamer super fans. They are the nerdiest of nerds and the geekiest of geeks. So they are all about canon. They are all about PC Master Race. And coming out and announcing a cell phone game was not going to work. I've been thinking about how you would announce that, and honestly, I would have just announced it at the beginning and said, guys, I know you're excited for a new announcement from Diablo, and I don't want to get your hopes up, so I'm going to tell you right now that it's probably that this is a cell phone game, and it's probably not for hardcore gamers. This is designed to be a portal to bring in new players so that there will be a new and excited player base for you to play with when we do eventually have announcements for the Diablo main series, main storyline series. In the meantime, if you want to engage with it and enjoy it, we'd appreciate it, but this is really for a new generation of more casual gamers. So this is maybe I'd write a story there where it's like, this is a game for you to teach your little brothers and sisters how to play to get into Diablo before. So that's basically how I try to approach it. And you have to admit that it's not what they want, and say that what they want is coming still. Am I really playing Shaman cards? I don't know if I really am. But yeah, let's see. There's definitely some weirdness with the idea of thinking about playing a real-time strategy game of Warcraft 3. Like, what kind of quality of life improvements could you even put on such an old gameplay style that would make it make sense and reasonable to play? I'm trying to win, but I guess I should be playing cards. Let's see. We've got a game on Steam called The Silver Crusade Ura Axeman. It looks like total garbage here. Figured I'd show it for $1.19. Of course, that's not making it to the fall list. +2, +2. Let's see. +2, +2. Do that. And 1, 2, 3. I did one too many. Yeah, I did that wrong quite a bit. I don't. There is a decent number of games that came out, but I don't think any of them were really good. It seemed like a little bit more than before as far as this weekend, as far as games came out. Now, to be fair and honest, I took Sunday off to watch most of the season 3 of Daredevil. I had already watched the first 5 episodes or so. So I took an actual day off, which generally speaking I don't. There's always at least some little amount of effort or work or reporting I'm doing. But I think I'm still kind of doing good for the end of the year content, except for the fact when I think about how awful the end of the year content may be if you're not interested in watching me clean up my Steam wishlist and shop, basically window shop. If you want to see me play a game, come back in January is pretty much what it comes down to. Here we go.
Free me.
Let's see if we can kill this
Job's done.
guy. Gematsu has an article. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World Dungeon RPG has been announced for PS4 and PS Vita. Konosuba is a anime that was popular a couple of seasons ago. It may still be going on into like a third season. I am not 100% certain though that this is going to be a good game, or if this is just going to be a pretty bad dungeon crawler license. Looking at the image right now, it looks like it's a pretty bad dungeon crawler license. I guess anime licensed games are the only games that right now we run into where there's a lot of incidences of people making bad video games and then trying to sell it on the name of a property. Alright. This is not gonna go well.
I see you all.
Can't do anything. Yep. So we can close that article. Gamasutra has a blog / article, whatever. To balance Heroes of the Storm, quote, remember that MOBAs aren't a true sport. I guess this would go on further in its conversation if I cared to read it, where they're saying, oh, we balance the game by cheating and not making it fair at all.
Converting stored energy.
Gamasutra has an article. Blizzard announces its first mobile Diablo game. What's interesting here is this article by Gamasutra, since Gamasutra is so in the pocket and basically just run directly by video game companies, that they are not mentioning any of the controversy or anything. They're just doing a straight up announcement of just the facts, which it'd be nice if Gamasutra and all the mainstream video game journalists actually just reported the facts. But no, they only do that when they're trying to hide the fact that every single person has been incredibly unhappy with it, or at least that's the story going around. I mean, it is possible that the live stream audience themselves were just unhappy with it, and most people don't care at all about Diablo Immortal. Could be everybody that cared actually was at BlizzCon. Could also be that the live stream's reaction colored the reaction of everyone else, and now people do care. Like, personally, I don't care. Like, it doesn't really change anything to me. In the same way that I don't feel like Diablo 3 really changed my nostalgia for Diablo 1 and 2. In my mind, while I admit Diablo 3 exists, the two games to play are Diablo 1 and 2, and that's it. And if they announced a Diablo 4, I really don't have a lot of faith that it's going to be anything other than a instance where, let's see, 16 randomly split. You think that might work? I'll take it. Take it and see where it goes. Yeah, I just kind of don't care about Diablo. If Diablo 4 came out and it had a bunch of microtransactions and it was horrible, so what? Okay, let's do this. This is amongst all minions. This is not gonna work. Alright, let's do this. And let's do this. Well, I got a victory. I wasn't really trying for that, but that'll work. And I played a decent amount of shaman cards. Says this article does say that Diablo 3 was launched in 2012, so it has been over 6 years since the game came out, but I don't think that really affects Activision Blizzard much. Let's see. We've got a game on Steam called Lost in Vivo, which looks like it might be a asset flip horror game, or it might be a real horror game. And I guess inherently, unless I can watch this trailer and decide, I am gonna have to put it on the follow list. $9.95. I am certainly running into problems where a lot of games on the wish list are by default $9.99. You know, $10 basically. So a lot of games that I'm looking at on the wish list are just not worth it at that price. Now my plugin tells me the historical low price for a lot of the games, and it's down sometimes as low as 49 cents, and at 49 cents I would buy quite a lot of games. Yeah, I'm seeing some gunplay now in this game, Lost in Vivo. Let's play this. And in return, there's like a wrench you can also have, like Bioshock. Somebody should bring back the wrench. It's not a bad melee weapon. Felt very impactful to use. Pun intended. This doesn't look great, this game, but maybe I'll put it on the follow list. Oh, I'm gonna be generous and proceed as if it's going on the follow list. I guess the second biggest story that one could take from this, from the past couple days, would definitely be let's see. It would definitely be the instance of Rainbow Six Siege getting visual censorship in all of its versions ahead of release in some Asian countries. And the assumption here is that the Asian country is China, because they're getting rid of things like blood and gambling references and skulls, which certainly means several things. So one chart they showed as an example, the melee icon has changed from a knife to a fist. The death icon has changed from skulls to a chest with an X over it. And the friendly fire icon has also changed to no longer have a skull on it. This is 100% what the fear was, and what I'm fairly certain China, this is China almost certainly, this was China's goal in the first place. China wanted to dangle this big old pile of money for a potential player base in China in front of movie makers, video game developers, basically anybody who makes any form of influential entertainment or even news. And by trying to get foreign countries to voluntarily censor, they wanted it to have a bleed over effect, and that's exactly what's happening now. The rest of the world, every other country in which Rainbow Six Siege was available, is now following China's draconian censorship laws, because it's just easier, and because they're lazy and dumb, clearly. I wouldn't be surprised also if Ubisoft, I mean, I don't think Ubisoft has any, is owned by Tencent or any of the Chinese companies, so it would make a little bit more sense if this was a Tencent subsidiary that was doing this, but Ubisoft is a French, I'm pretty sure, company. And people are certainly not happy about that. Censorship is not only bad for your country in which it's implied, it's bad for a lot of countries too. It's bad for the whole world and all of society. Let's do this. And do that. We have another game on Steam called Trivia Clash Adult Film Star Edition, which seems to be a low effort game of question and answer, except for it's the porn stars are answering the questions, and so you hear their answers after you answer it yourself. If these are porn stars, which they very possibly are, they certainly aren't the biggest or most recognizable type of porn stars. I guess you don't inherently, if you're a porn star, want to look like a porn star in your day-to-day life. But yeah, that Stormy Daniels lady, for example, she looks like she was a porn star. This game is $4.99 on Steam, and of course it's not going to the follow list. I'm not sure this is really something I want to report on, but TechRaptor is talking about Twitch games with Prime and in-game loot for November, so we can quickly just kind of point out what you're getting. In-game items for Overwatch, League of Legends, World of Tanks, Battlegrounds, Rainbow Six Siege, Warframe, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And let's see.
Winter is here.
Let's see, what do we want to do? We'll take that. And return. Let's see, the games you're getting this month are Air, AER, Memories of Old, Overcooked, The Pillars of Earth, and Overload, which is like a shooter. I'm fairly certain that Overcooked and The Pillars of Earth both have already been given away. I'm trying to figure out when Prime Day is. Is it anywhere close to Black Friday? I thought it was. But then Amazon just announced like free shipping with no minimums on most items, so maybe they're not gonna do a Prime Day. Well, I'm on a win streak, so I might as well stick with it. Let's see, is this game in English? Yes. That's tagged with nudity. We have a game that's Touhou, T-O-U-H-O-U, Pants Contest? Pants? It seems like it is a fighting game where you steal the underwear from your opponent, and it's just anime girls fighting. But one of these screenshots is basically of a naked anime girl, so Steam still needs to work on that. I am questioning this one though. Is this a real game from a new developer, or is this a low effort game? It's $1.59. I think it might be sort of a real game by a very lewd Japanese company. The idea is kind of funny. It's basically doing a game of who presses the button first, like a just quick time event, and if you win, you steal the underwear. So it's a pretty simplistic game, from what I can tell. It's not going to win any awards. But yeah, there's basically an icon that just appears on the screen, and I think you just push the button as fast as possible. So not much of a video game at that. Let's see, what do I do with something like this now? Do I put it on the follow list, and at the end of the year, at the end of 2019, do we look at a game like this? I think maybe, but what I would do is choose to filter out some of those games. Maybe we if it really is just 2 episodes, next year in 2019 to make a fall list cleanup video, I might have a late night version of it that is just the adult games that came out in 2019 and 2018, and then I'll cover all the other games in a different video. That might work. Let's see. We've got a game on Steam called Clad in Iron Circle something. Zach Holland 1904. It looks like some kind of low effort simulation boating game. Does not look very good. How much do I want for it? $19.99. I'll watch the video and see if maybe there's something here to it, but I suspect the answer is no. Do I want to hit this guy and give him armor? Yeah, I think I do. Jumping around this video. Yeah, it looks incredibly boring, whatever this game is. Let's let's go ahead and do this, and this, and then that.
Job's done.
Next we have a game on Steam called Nanoswarm, which looks like a low effort, maybe cell phone port game, top down tank twin stick shooter. Nothing interesting there. Early access too, for $3.99. Early access has become a thing, certainly, where I've realized that I definitely am gonna have to go and double check that. Let's see what would die here. Like, I need to go and check just what games, if any, are left on the wish list after the wish list cleanup that are in early access, because I wasn't looking at the beginning in the first half of it for early access games. I just didn't think about it. This whole process has been very iterative, and every step I think, oh yeah, I should have done that. Oh yeah, I should have done that. It's kind of how I approach programming too, is that it's more about acting in the moment and finding solutions than it is about spending a lot of extra time in preparation and planning. Of course, that doesn't work for all things and all types of projects, but it's very easy to make mistakes, and in programming it's very hard to make mistakes in, say, surgery in comparison. So let's see. I guess I'm just gonna leave this. Guess I have to. We have a game on Steam called Halfway Home, which looks like a low effort MS Paint visual novel, although it's calling itself a simulation. Man, that is just not pretty to look at. These solid marker things. Please tell me this is not the Western art style. It's a free game, so I guess the price is right. I guess the end is coming, so might as well just do this. Let's see, we have a game on Steam called People Cubed, which is a random assortment of asset, like polygons. And maybe after I record an episode earlier in the mornings, as I'm doing now, I'm becoming a little bit more crueler to games and not giving them a chance. But honestly, I think mostly I'm just seeing garbage games, which is probably the case. $9.99 for that game. Yeah, almost certainly it is the case that what is going on is the end of the year is happening, and with the end of the year and Red Dead Redemption out and all the AAA games out, and nobody except for a low effort scammer who puts garbage on Steam would, in their right mind, list a game on Steam. Gametsu has an article. My Girlfriend is a Mermaid launches February 28th, 2019 in Japan. It's a romance visual novel. The game is currently available on Steam, so if it's coming out to the... What is it coming out to? It's coming out to the Switch. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out to the Switch in the West. Let's see. It's slightly translated differently as She is a Mermaid visual novel. You see, does that really bring any relevancy just because it's coming out to more consoles? I don't know if it really is. If that really does. I guess in the end I could put it on the follow list and keep an eye out for it. Let's see. Do this.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
If I play this, can't do that. If I do that, I guess, and then in turn. TechRaptor has an article, The Quiet Man Review, -silence is stupid. What I heard from Jim Sterling, I don't know why I've started watching his stuff again, but is that the part where you would be able to hear things on your second playthrough is not even in the game yet. That's going to be patched in at a later time. But even if it did fix things, even that patch is not going to solve the problems of this game. This game is a total mess. And TechRaptor agrees with me because it gives it a 1.0 awful. It summarizes it by saying, The Quiet Man is an absolute disaster of ideas that don't work, bad design decisions, boring combat, ugly graphics, and attempting to use a real disability as a gimmick in a way that feels borderline insulting. Let's see. Let's go for one more game and just get this done. I don't think we're gonna have too much of a problem today getting daily quests done. Pros, there may be great voice acting is question mark. Cons, dumb, nonsensical story, poorly used deafness, terrible FMV to CGI transitions, boring gameplays, ugly graphics. It really feels like The Quiet Man, as a game itself, just had no writing in it. I don't even know how you would get to that point at all. Like, was this game in development hell for entire decades? Is that possibly the case? And that it's just getting pushed out now? Why would you announce it at E3 then? In comparison, Overkill's The Walking Dead, I believe, is out today, and there's been no fanfare whatsoever for that, from what I hear.
Welcome.
So,
You may bow before me.
so if they were trying to just dump a failure of a game, I don't know why you would do it that way. So if I play this overload, that won't work. How can you fix something like The Quiet Man? You give it out for free, you leak it accidentally, quote unquote, to the public. You say it's a stolen game that nobody's allowed to play. You make a PT event out of it, and then you turn it into some kind of crazy tie-in to an announcement of a better game. That might be a good move. Yeah, I could see doing that. If The Quiet Man was leaked out via torrents, and you as an advertisement gimmick, and yeah. In fact, I think what I'd probably do is I'd fire the person who made The Quiet Man, all of them, and then make it so that they could just take copies of the games as they're cleaning out their desks and just leak it, and just make sure it gets leaked on the way out. And then I'd probably try to see if I could convince the shareholders that that's why the game is never coming out and that's why it's failed. I mean, you might actually convince people that it's a game worth seeing if you put enough controversy around it. But moving on, we have a game on Steam called Nowhere Patrol. Looks like a kind of bullet hell beat 'em up game that I probably don't want to play. It's just got way too much on the screen. There was like one anime bullet hell game that I decided to actually keep on the wish list, but this is not going to be one of them. $4.24 discounted. This almost feels like a Cuphead attempt, but not done particularly well.
Most impressive.
Who is this guy? Anyways, who is this robot character? He's new to me.
Job's done.
Cuphead's gonna get updates, so yeah, I guess I'm still kind of hyped for that update. I don't even own Cuphead. I haven't played it, but I'm hyped to see other people play the game. That's been kind of a recurring theme for this year in particular. Is I've spent more time watching other people play games that are brand new than playing them myself. TechRaptor has an article. Bodacious babe Brooke Belrose joins the cast of Honey Pop 2. So, the developer of Honey Pop, HoneyDev, announced a new character named Brooke Belrose, which I suppose there's nothing here stopping me from just showing the picture here. Let's see. Yeah, I can just come over here. So she's a trophy wife, 40, white. She's a gold digger. Her hobby is plastic surgery. She wears wedge heels. She's a G cup. Her favorite color is olive. So she's another MILF character, as they call them. Mothers I like to have fun with, being the censored down version of that. A mother I'd like to have fun with, yeah.
Justice shall prevail.
And let's do that. And then do just that. And that. There. So this is the first character that HoneyDev announced. It's the 12th edition to Honey Pop 2. But it's the first one that HoneyDev announced after his kind of the step into awkwardness when he announced the Funatari girl, the girl with a dick girl, you know, is the general idea of what I think he was trying to say. But he called her a transvestite, or a transsexual. Yeah, he called her a transsexual, which is different. And he didn't seem to understand the difference or understand the audience. And so there was a little bit of pushback there, particularly because in Honey Pop 1 you have to finish the game, date everybody, and sleep with everybody, so some people would have not been cool with that. I think he finally said he's just gonna have the character, and there will be a question at the beginning of the game: do you want her to be her genitals to be male or female? And I think he managed to let that story die down. Tech Raptor's not bringing it up again.
Job's done.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, doesn't seem like. Yeah, Tech Raptor's even mentioning that. That's part of the story. Let's see. Next, we have a game on Steam called Dumb Stone Card Game, which looks like it's a collectible card game. Almost looks like Uno.
I wonder.
There is an Uno game already on Steam. Maybe it's not the best Uno game ever, but I certainly wouldn't pay the price of $3.99 to play this. And maybe Dumbstone is slightly different from Uno, but it seems like it, for the most part, is the same concept. So maybe I'll put this on the follow list. Maybe I'll be really, really generous and leave that on the follow list. Tech Raptor has an article, Final Fantasy 15 special program set to deliver latest updates. Getting 2 more years of Final Fantasy 15 content. Maybe it'll be a good game by the time they're done. So a video is going to be streamed live on YouTube and will be in Japanese subtitles. So it's almost like a Nintendo Direct from Square Enix for talking about Final Fantasy 15 updates. I bet it's not as much as you would like it to be, if anybody still cares. Let's see, we have a low effort game on Steam called Angry King. Like, you must paint graphics for what looks like a Pong clone for 99 cents. Man, they are just letting all the garbage in. This week, or they were. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Ingress Prime launches today. First major live events imminent. So, today Niantic launched a follow-up to its original location-based mobile title, Ingress, called Ingress Prime. Let's see. Trying to skim through this article and see what the difference is between Ingress Prime and Ingress. Seems like not a lot, other than the fact that the way they're marketing Ingress Prime is that they will have an 11-episode animated adaptation of the game coming to Netflix in 2019. And possibly they'll also be creating a web series to expand on the game's lore. I really doubt too many people are playing Ingress still, though. I imagine most of them would have moved over to Pokemon Go a long time ago. Just because it's the player base. Even if you don't like Pokemon, I would still say play Pokemon Go instead of Ingress. Oh, I bet there are some people that play both. Gamma Sutra has an article. Blizzard's Hearthstone reaches 100 million registered players. That's probably would be a better and bigger number if it wasn't for the fact that I know how many people have registered in the Hearthstone and then given up on it. Let's see. To celebrate the milestone, Blizzard is presenting players with free card packs and an in-game event, which will run November 7th at 10 a.m. through November 11th. Okay. So log in during November 7th and try not to log out, maybe, in case you have to be logged in that whole time. I bet you don't. I bet you could just log in and you'll get the reward and move on.
Job done.
My hand is full.
That is a weird thing too is about BlizzCon is they certainly could have talked about the next Hearthstone expansion. Like, but they don't really talk about Hearthstone at BlizzCon. Moving on, Gamasutra has an article. Tencent will use police databases to restrict playtime in China. Tech giant Tencent, the Chinese tech giant, intends to start verifying the identities of its players so it can more effectively restrict the playtime of youths in China. As a report by the Wall Street Journal, the company will use a new verification system to check players' identities and ages against police databases, making it increasingly difficult for young players to overindulge in their favorite mobile games. I really wonder what these Chinese youths have to do otherwise. That's inherently the problem with a lot of nanny states or just nannies in general is they tell kids what not to do, but they don't give them an opportunity to do anything else. What are the kids supposed to be doing? Are they supposed to be studying? They won't study. Are they supposed to be going to school? If they're skipping school, they're not gonna stop skipping school. Are they supposed to be working in factories? Maybe. So if they've got all that free time now, at least they're not running around on the streets starting fires, causing incidences. Like, nothing more dangerous than a bored child. We have Cadden's Smart Clack, I guess, saying, "What's up? How old are you?" I'm old. Pretty old. I don't give out personal information. Don't dox myself, and I try to stop people in the chat from doxing themselves too. But I'm older than average. Not incredibly old, but older than average. Let's see. This Gamasutra article goes on to say, earlier this year, Tencent tried to limit Honor of Kings players by below the age of 12 to 1 hour of play per day, while those between the age of 12 and 18 were given 2 hours of playtime. So that's pretty incredibly restrictive amount of playtime. If that's the only game you're playing, 1 hour a day. I mean, certainly there probably are households in the United States where kids are only allowed to play video games on the weekend, but I doubt it's only 1 hour. Certainly my experience with playing video games, because I was always playing video games, limiting me to 1 hour a day would be a joke. A total and complete joke. Underage players quickly found a workaround, however, with youngsters across China buying fake IDs and creating fake online personas, specifically so they could spend more time in game. And see, this is funny that Tencent would come out and make this announcement and limit this when right now the Chinese government is still not approving any new games for sale in China. So basically, maybe China was putting pressure on Tencent to implement this policy, and that's why it was banning all games. That doesn't seem right, though. It seems like China is going to completely disallow everyone from playing video games whatsoever. That's my guess. I think they're working their way up to a straight-up blanket ban. But only time will tell, and we'll stay tuned. see. Ken says I don't really play video games, and if I do, it's usually like New Super Mario's, Wii, or Fortnite. Well, that's a couple of games, certainly. Yeah. People nowadays tend to play something, whether it's a cell phone game or it's just solitaire on your Windows PC, or it's just some simple website, whether it's Candy Crush. Most people play something. Very rarely have I run into a person that actually does not play video games. Certainly I've run into a lot of people that don't play them as much as me, particularly now since I'm a YouTuber and video game critic and I'm making footage and playing games all the time. Like I always knew I was playing them a lot more. But also, it's not like I had anything better to do. Kids in particular, in my youth, it's like you really didn't have anything else you could do if you weren't obsessed with something else, whether it was sports or some hobby or hanging out with friends or something like that. Let's see, Gamatsu has an article. Path of Exile is coming to the PS4 in December. Is that in Japan or is that in the world? So, certainly this is kind of well-timed news for Path of Exile, because Path of Exile was the game that I was hearing people recommend players who were disappointed with the Diablo Immortal announcement. They were saying, well, we're just going to go play Path of Exile. Or they were joking that people are going to start playing Path of Exile because of that announcement. So, yeah. Looking at Steam's page, Path of Exile is very, very positively reviewed. And yeah, I guess it kind of looks like Diablo. So I could see, yeah, if you've lost hope for Diablo 4 coming out or being entertaining, this might be the game for you. Let's see. Hit that. And do that. Do that. Ken says, I really hope you get popular on YouTube. Yeah, me too. I wish we could get back to the point where I was like a year and a half ago, where I was at least making a few pennies every week on ad revenue. Of course I have Patreon now, so if I could get somebody to support me through Patreon, I'd make way more money, but from a single supporter donating $1 a month than I was making from AdSense on YouTube. I can say that once I went over the 301 number, which used to be the important number to YouTube. It used to be if your video didn't get 301 views, it wasn't even really considered successful. Now, you probably has to get over several million views before it's considered successful. But once I went over the 301 subscriber number, I started to see a slight increase in subscribers I was getting. So I went from like 301 to 304 in half a week, which was a little surprising. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice if I got super popular, or just popular enough. Honestly, $40,000–$50,000 a year in ad revenue to just make a living wage in the United States is all I really would like. Particularly as a YouTuber, that I'd probably pay enough to also have extra money over each month to put into retirement and savings. I just want to. I wouldn't want to become a super millionaire. I'll take being a super millionaire, but it's not really the goal. And I don't want to change my channel and change how I make my content just to try to become a millionaire. Too. Let's see. Tragic Master says, Path of Exile is Diablo on steroids. Yeah, I'm trying to picture Diablo on steroids.
What?
It's a pretty funny idea, actually. Just a giant, muscly, roid-raged Diablo character. Well, he's pretty muscle-bound already. Let's see.
My shield for Argon.
And do this. And that. And in there. So Gamatsu has an article that's called Kotaku Report Diablo 4 Announcement Pulled from BlizzCon 2018. Project Lee reportedly has gone through at least 2 iterations. Blizzard Entertainment planned to announce Diablo 4 at BlizzCon 2018 in the past weekend following the announcement of the smartphone game Diablo Immortal. But the announcement was pulled. 2 people familiar with Blizzard plans have told Kotaku. So there's a quote here. Two people familiar with Blizzard's plans, end quote, have told Kotaku. The Diablo 4 announcement would have reportedly come in the form of a teaser video in which Blizzard Entertainment co-founder Alan Adam told the crowd that Diablo 4 is in development but not ready to show. Why didn't he just say that anyways?
Truth is my shield.
It seems really questionable why you wouldn't put that video out. See, and that would be kind of funny if, knowing the way BlizzCon went, it would be kind of funny if at the end of in the middle of the questions and answers where people were being rude to the announcer, he goes, "Fine, I know what you want. I'll give you what you want." And then he shows the video and they go, "Here's Blizzard 4. It's coming out. I hope you're happy." And just planned it all along. If they had done a amazing fake out there, that would have been hilarious. People would have been talking about that for at least a year. Cadence says, how long have I been doing YouTube? I think about 4 years now. It's too long. I should have been longer, unfortunately. Like, had I started doing my YouTube channel, say, 9 years ago, I would be a lot more popular. Nowadays, it's close to impossible for new YouTubers to get any traction. I've got lots of videos, over 6,000 videos on my channel, lots of playlists for every game I've covered, a lot to see. Let's see. Kotaku reports that Blizzard Entertainment changed its plans in the last couple of weeks. One person told the website that Diablo team was not ready to commit to an announcement, as Diablo 4 has changed drastically over the past few years and may continue to change. Kotaku also heard that Diablo 4 has gone through at least 2 different iterations under different directors.
is here.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and hit that.
I see you all.
That one. And what do I want to do? Go ahead and hit that one with that. On October 17th, Blizzard Entertainment published a blog post essentially confirming Diablo 4 but writing off its presence at BlizzCon 2018. The studio wrote, "There are very exciting times. These are very exciting times. We currently have multiple teams working on different Diablo projects, and we can't wait to tell you about them when the time is right." Back in August, Blizzard Entertainment released a video called The Future of Diablo, in which it confirmed multiple Diablo projects are in development. Blizzard Entertainment did not comment on the story when contacted by Kotaku. So, yeah, it sounds like Diablo 4 was supposed to be there. Summon one copy of a friendly minion. And there. And there. End of the turn.
I'm almost out of cards.
Let's see. Ken says, "I gotta go, my phone is at 1%. Okay, thanks. Please subscribe, click the notification bell. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you can certainly catch up on this video at any time at your leisure." Let's see. Is this? A game I haven't heard of called Omen of Sorrow is due out November 6th in the Americas and Europe. And it has released a new trailer showing off 2 new characters, according to Gematsu. The Headless Horseman and the Invisible Queen. I'm not exactly sure what Omen of Sorrow is. I guess it's a fighting game? That's what it's tagged with. And it seems like it's coming out for the PlayStation 4. And just the PlayStation 4. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do? No. Omen of Sorrow features characters from Japanese horror and myth, it seems. Or just horror and myth in general. Interesting. I'm always surprised I haven't heard of this game before, Omen of Sorrow. It feels almost like a Killer Instinct clone.
I can see.
Yeah. Well, I'm slightly interested to see more about Omen of Sorrow when it comes out. Let's see. Meanwhile, let's see. Let's switch over to the European account since we've got all 3 of the daily quests done here. And Wednesday we'll have to do more the Tavern Brawl. Let's see. Not now. Don't download an update for our Hearthstone deck tracker.
Welcome to my end.
Tragic Master says, good game, thank you. Alright. I really only need to do 2 of these, so if I can win 2 games and play 40 even cost cards, we're in good shape for the European account. Do I have even cost cards though? Well, what do I want to play then? Token Druid, Zoo Warlock. No, Zoo Warlock was winning, so let's try that. We've got a game on Steam called Ducks Inferno, which looks like it's a cell phone port. Looks like you're jumping upward, or it's a shoot 'em up. I can't really tell. Let's see.
I will fight with honor. Your soul
seems
shall
like it's
be
probably
mine.
you're hitting things and attacking and flying upward. Right. Guess I don't need that one. It seems like it's kind of a
One shot.
seems like it's kind of a shoot 'em up game, but then you're attacking with melee attacks. Only.
I'll get a run in the light's name.
In the chat. Well, Ducks Inferno is $2.39. It still looks like it's a cell phone game. I don't see anything here that would really make me want to play it, so I'm going to close that tab and move on. Next we have a game I can't show you called Pub, P-A-P-A-P-U-B, and it's tagged with nudity and sexual content. Let's see. Do this. And do this. Oh, darn it. I could have played slightly different there. Then I would have lost my character. So what is Pub? Looks like you're running a bar and playing a adventure game of some sort. Looks like it's probably a pretty simplistic adventure game with some RPG elements. So we'll let the video play and maybe I can see that. This very possibly is a low effort Chinese game. Go. Well, you know what? This game looks very boring, whatever it is. It's just showing me little bits of lines of dialogue in Chinese or Japanese and backgrounds with no characters on the screen. It's early access game. It's English, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. So, yep, as I guessed, it is a cheap Chinese game.
So many possibilities.
Cleared the deck with my characters. Gamasutra has an interesting article. It looked back at the top selling games of the 90s. Let's see. I'm seeing somebody tweeted a list here of the top Nintendo 64 games between January 1995 and September 2018, and I suppose the you probably don't need to go that far into the future. Alright, let's see.
Time's up. Let's do this.
So it says Super Mario 64, then GoldenEye 007, then Mario Kart 64, then Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, immediately I wonder, does that include Ocarina of Time and the re-release of the Master Quest version of Ocarina of Time? Because I'm pretty sure for Nintendo 64 there were 2 versions that were released. Pokemon Stadium, then Donkey Kong, then Star Fox, then Super Smash Bros., then Diddy Kong Racing, and Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. And see, what's crazy about that is Diddy Kong Racing really deserves to have a new game come out. And the Star Wars games always deserve to exist, but never get to. Then there's another tweet here that's from January 1995 to September 2018 for Game Boy Color games. They go Pokemon Silver, Gold, Super Mario Brothers, Pokemon Pinball, Pokemon Crystal, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel, Zelda Link's Awakening, Donkey Kong Country, Pokemon Trading Cards, and Zelda Oracle Ages. Now,
I will purify the fallen.
both of these start in 1995, so that's halfway through the 90s, which isn't really probably the right way to title your article if you're saying a look back at the top selling games of the 90s. And I feel like there definitely were other platforms besides just the Nintendo 64 and the Game Boy Color that came out in the 90s that had games sold in the 90s. So this really seems like a poorly written article because somebody failed to do any real research and they're just reporting on somebody else tweeting out something that is potentially inaccurate information, because I doubt that they've bothered to even verify anything. That is one thing that video game journalists are pretty bad about, is they don't verify or do any kind of research or anything. They just immediately quote another game journal site and say it's because of that they've done their due diligence. Let's see.
Reporting for duty.
Interesting. We've got a game here that's not so much a game, it seems like. It's called Trip Trope Mixer Stream Host App. This is for people who want to play the game in their Mixer stream, on their Mixer channel. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if maybe Mixer might be the next big thing. It's got Microsoft behind it. This is a free-to-play game. Never heard of Trip Trope. By the way, it looks like it's just a basic RPG. It kind of comes down to, is Mixer gonna be as conservative and pro-censorship and locked down about being family-friendly as Twitch and YouTube are? Because if that's the case, I don't see a real reason to move. And then how is Mixer going to let the average content creator make money and not just the top 1% of content creators? Moving on, TechRaptor has an article. Fallout 76 Atomic Shop lets players buy cosmetic items with real money. So it seems like Fallout 76 is just loaded. Totally loaded with microtransactions. The good news is it sucks. So nobody really needs to play Fallout 76. But the bad news is, hopefully, I guess, this fails horribly and we see a Fallout 5 that is a much better game than even Fallout 4, but I'm not sure that Bethesda ever had the ability to make a good Fallout game. When you think about it, like, maybe Bethesda had their hands in Fallout 3, but they really didn't in Fallout 1 or 2 or New Vegas. And they certainly don't seem like they're interested in making good games now. They seem like they want to just rip off the customer. Alright, so that only played a couple of even cost cards. I think I was mostly playing odd cards. There. Control Priest, I guess? Try that. Gamasutra has a blog called It's Time to Rethink A/B Testing. My initial response to that is that's ridiculous. But also I don't really use A/B testing. I should, but I don't have enough of a sample size for my YouTube channel for it to make any sense. I don't get enough information, so everything is within a well within a margin of error. Let's see. So I'm gonna close that article. Next we have another Chinese game. Let's see, we'll play this.
Is someone injured?
Called Unbeatable Wilderness. Looks pretty crazy and pretty bad. It's $2.99. It's in English and simplified Chinese. And I would say it's probably not too much in English. It really looks like an asset flip with all this UI too. Now the concept of being in a forest or something, and then the forest actually being the thing that's attacking you, actually is kind of an intriguing idea. But I don't think that idea is going to get delivered on anytime soon. TechRaptor has an article, Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales Review - Slay Queen. So let's see what they think about the Thronebreaker Gwent expansion, single player expansion game. Generally speaking, from what I saw, I kind of liked the idea, but it kind of changed Gwent too. I don't know when I get around to playing it. TechRaptor gave it a 7.0, very good. The summary is, though tainted by its broken difficulty mode, Thronebreaker stands on the shoulders of The Witcher as a morally complex and often harrowing Macbethian tale of royal revenge and revolt. So there might be a little bit of spoilers in what I just said.
Right away.
Keep on healing this minion to get cards. The pros are a phenomenal soundtrack and voice acting, magnificent visuals and card art, and harrowing moral dilemmas. The cons are broken difficulty, chorish map clearing, and it may lack an emotional punch. I would almost certainly prefer to play the DLC for The Witcher 3 before playing Thronebreaker DLC for the Gwent game. I guess more people though have already been done with that part of it. So let's do this and do
right away.
This. Think I've got it. Think I've got it in the next turn. Next we have a troll game on Steam called Deported Drain the Swamp, and I'm not going to show it. It's 59 cents. It's a total piece of garbage RPG Maker game, kind of surprisingly. see.
Don't mess with Tusker.
Next we have a game on Steam called Philharmonic. Looks pretty bad, like a, I don't know, level designer. I'm having a hard time even figuring out, is it a farming game? Is it a civic planning game? Whatever it is, it's $13.49. I'll watch this video, but I think this is pretty much just a junk game. Right. This, and then in the turn. So 6, then 12 doesn't get it high enough to do 25 damage. Yeah, this Philharmonic game looks ridiculous. I'm just seeing a bunch of characters walk around, and that's it. I'm gonna close that tab. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other dragons. All minions. Do we play this? Or do we play this?
What is my purpose?
And this.
What is my purpose?
We whittle it down. Maybe we play a little bit of protection too. Maybe I can survive to the next turn. TechRaptor has an article, 1,000,000 Ways to Die in Depraved, which I haven't heard of a game called Depraved, so this is probably a new game. Yeah, it's in early access, so it's a hype trains type game, type article. See, I'm looking at Depraved right now. It doesn't even look that interesting. It's a city builder here. Supposedly a city builder Western style game. It just does not look like much of anything. This looks just boring. Alright, let's do this. 10, 20, attack, 20, and guess we could do this.
Meddlesome insects.
I comply.
There we go. Maybe we could get a win streak and work our way up to rank 20. That'd be nice. How much progress did we make on playing even cost cards? Still need to make a lot of progress. In all realisticness, I should end this recording and start another one, but I don't want to do that. I'm still just doing really long episodes right now. TechRaptor has an article. Hamrick, that's H-A-I-M-R-I-K, provides imaginative proof that words can be deadly. This is a game that I've been looking at on my wish list and added it to the wish list. Let's see if it gives it an actual review or if this is just a hype train for an early access game. Yeah, it's really just a hype train for an early access game. And then the link takes me to the Humble store from TechRaptor instead of Steam. So that they can get their affiliate link, I imagine. We've got a game on Steam called Museum Volume 1, which sounds episodic. Looks like it's a asset flip game. Maybe it's trying to do something interesting here, but I don't think so. How much do they want? 99 cents on it? No.
Is someone injured?
Job done.
See, it says it's a puzzle horror game, but I'm not 100% sure I believe it. Well, I can play this, or I can
Right
just
away.
do that and then end the turn. Yeah, watching this video from Museum Volume 1, it seems like it's still really just showing assets that have been flipped in the game. A lot of these games try to look really weird and like they have some crazy artistic surreal story behind them, but really they don't. They're just asset flips, just terrible games. Alright. Swap this attack with another minions. Okay.
Oh, a shadow. Right away.
Job done.
Next we have a game on Steam called Cinderella VR, which seems like it's a VR game with paper cutouts, which seems weird, certainly. Looks like it has some mini games in it. This feels like it's a kid's game, but then it's $9.99 on top of the fact that you would need a probably $600 VR headset, and inherently all these VR games do end up just being about standing in one place and tossing things. So it's all enemy minions, draw a card, I guess.
Run away!
Yeah, this really feels like a kid's game, Cinderella VR, but that really didn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna close this tab and forget it ever existed. TechRaptor has an article, Time Spinner Review, You're Into the Time Slip, which
There once was a
looks
man
like it's a
from
JRPG. I think this made it to my wish list or my follow list. Might be, looks a lot like Metroid, not Metroid, but Castlevania. Yeah, looks like it's a time manipulating Castlevania clone. TechRaptor gave it an 8.0 great. Let's see.
Run away!
Hit this. And do
What
this.
is my purpose?
And this.
Pain, speak to me.
So the summary is Time Spinner is a fantastic example of an excellent Metroidvania that mixes up character upgrades, a fun and diverse overworld, and a beautiful 16-bit look. The story not only combines the personal tragedy of a chosen one, but adds gray to what is normally black and white debate. Pros, great story with real depth, great art style, and time travel sensibly added. Cons, has a false start, and it is a short game. So yeah, I'll double check to make sure Time Spinner is on my follow list or wish list, but probably is. Okay. Best I can do is this. And then I could choose to do that.
I comply.
Do that. We have a game on Steam called Dragon Simulator Multiplayer, which seems like this was probably a cheap Chinese game if I was to guess. The dragons look kind of nice. But the city itself looks like garbage and very small. Let's see, what language is it? Just English, it says? Yep, this is probably an asset flip game. And it's multiplayer only, so I guess it's never making it to my wish list anyways. For that reason alone. And this.
I comply.
So, if I could double to 22 and attack next turn, I've won. You know, it's an interesting thought. Yeah, should live streams only go as long as a cell phone could possibly be charged? Probably not. Every other streamer I see goes 4 or 5 hours, and it seems like you are definitely rewarded more for going longer.
What is my purpose?
Okay. Go ahead and cast a spell just in case this is counter spell, which it isn't, alright. We have a game on Steam called Backyard Brawl, which looks like a low effort asset flip game. Early access, free to play. I don't know why they make these games free to play. It's using the exact same character model for everybody. How is he doing so much damage? Wow, this is really well played. And that was kind of amazing. Somebody playing above his weight at rank 22. Let's keep on going. We have a game on Steam called Doka Kishki Edition. It looks like it's an asset flip. I thought it was going to be a Japanese game by that name, but apparently not. This is probably just Dota 2 with a K instead. Let's see. This game, this game's not even available for purchase, so I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe it's gotten knocked off or disallowed from Steam already. Let's see. GameIndustry.biz has the article, Blizzard's Diablo mobile game meets community backlash. NetEase co-developed Diablo Immortal Sparks online petition. Blizzard categorizes response as fan quote-unquote passion. Also, Blizzard is also deleting people's comments, allegedly, from what I'm hearing on the videos, and it seems like they might even have figured out some way to get rid of negative responses, thumbs down, that they've strong-armed YouTube or convinced YouTube to let them just remove the thumbs down elements on top of deleting comments. I wouldn't know exactly how you would do that, honestly. There is also a lot of thought that NetEase had a previous game that they just kind of skinned with Diablo characters. Kind of depends on, I guess, what you mean by skin. It could very well be that 90% of the code is the same and they didn't actually have to program any new attacks or functions into it at all, and they just changed the graphics. But I would suspect that at least some programming went into it to change how the different characters acted and interacted. There's a petition calling for Diablo Immortal to be cancelled. It's gotten almost 30,000 signatures, so they don't even want it to exist. Which that's certainly bad PR. The quote here is, "They love what they love and want what they want," he said. "That's passion. It's actually what drives us, and we feel it too. I understand the feeling and wish we could share more about the amazing things we're doing, not just with Diablo franchise, but across the company as a whole." So that's a much better PR spin than what they've been doing up until this point, I guess. Let's see. There's
someone injured?
And then maybe this.
What is my purpose?
Job's done.
In the turn. We've got a game on Steam called Kaleidoscope. It looks like it's a 3D puzzle game. Look at the background, that's pretty generic. And skybox, single color. It looks like it has a little bit of an idea to it, but the actual game seems stupidly easy. It seems like you're just trying to push blocks into shadows of blocks. Yeah, I literally don't see any other gameplay. Let's see. Now,
I comply.
attack in the turn. Well, Kaleidoscope is $4.99, and I don't think it's making it to the fall list, so I'm closing it. Where I talked about Rainbow Six Siege getting globally censored to prepare for Asian release, but TechRaptor has that article also. TechRaptor's showing of it is a lot better than Gematsu's showing of it. And see, some people are trying to defend the removal of the skeletons in Rainbow Six Siege and saying they're trying to confuse the issue and saying, well, technically it's not actually illegal to show skeletons in China. And I'm like, whether it's the law or not, it seems like it is enforced as if it's the law. Whether it's in the Constitution or written down on paper, it seems to the companies who one would think were paying good lawyers and localization companies to tell them what needs to be localized and censored, they're getting a message clear about no skeletons. Maybe the skeletons are illegal only in one city in China, and that makes some weird jurisdictional issue, but certainly it really doesn't matter. In the end, Ubisoft censored it in the thought that skeletons were not acceptable, and that's the problem. If the perception's wrong or not, it doesn't matter.
I comply.
Hit this. And then I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to heal. Moving on, Gematsu has an article, Travis strikes again, no more heroes key visual. Travis Strikes Again is coming out for the Switch on January 18th in 2019. It's a collection of mini games and not a true sequel to No More Heroes that I would love to see. Unfortunately. Let's see. Tech Raptor is talking about a game called Underworld Ascendant. It seems like it's a bit of a dungeon-esque game. It's not out yet though. It's coming out from 505 Games, which I think is different from 505 Studios, which I think is the company that makes Halo.
Is someone injured?
Or made Halo at one point. Okay. Let's do this. And then attack. And then I'm gonna steal this. And attack. And then return. Interesting. We've got a game on Steam called Idle King Builder, which looks like an idle kingdom builder. Maybe I'm being way too generous here, but I kind of want to put this on the follow list and see how people like playing an idle game on Steam and PC. That sounds like an interesting idea. But if it is a clicker, then that's going to be a problem, certainly. Unless it's just all automated. Like, I want an idling game, not a clicker game. It's free to play, but I bet it has microtransactions in it too. Third-party EULA. Come over here. And we're slowly making progress, but we're not getting victories. Tech Raptor also has the same report of Kotaku's article reporting that Blizzard 4, Diablo 4 was pulled as an announcement from BlizzCon. But in all honesty, this is the kind of story, if I was a unethical journalist, I would make up. It would feed into so many like clicks. It would be such a clickbaity thing to do, is to say, oh yeah, we've heard that actually they were going to announce Diablo 4, and you should be even more angry that they only announced Diablo Immortal, a mobile game. And honestly, I wouldn't put Kotaku past straight up lying, or someone, a source straight up lying and them not investigating it well enough to tell the difference. Anyways, moving on, we have a game on Steam called Edge, which is a low effort marble rolling game we've seen. You see these on a rare occasion. They don't come out too often, but they're pretty obvious. 59 cents discounted. Definitely not making it to the wish list. Right. But play this. And I'd be holding a dragon. See if this works.
Oh, a shadow.
Yeah, that might work. Next we have a game on Steam called The Endless Empty. Let's see what this is. It looks like a bunch of surreal images. Yeah. Seems like it is really just craziness for an attempt to be a horror game. Doesn't seem like it's available for purchase. Seems like it might have been kicked off Steam already. Well, I don't know what to say there. Your game is not even. Oh, here it is. $3.39. Wonder why it wouldn't load that before. That's weird. Well,
Must consider.
I don't feel that generous. I just don't think this game deserves to stay on the wish list. Let's hit this. Go here. And then in the turn. And I want to hurry up and finish this. In fact, I may just, if I can get just one daily quest done on the European account, I think I might go with a off-screen post-show game. I know I've been doing a lot of those lately. Apologies for that, but I think that kind of is where I want to be at, just so I can relax and save energy for the end of the year content I'm doing. Next we have a game on Steam called Soccer Battle Royale. Just by the name, you know, it's a somewhat low effort game. It doesn't actually look too bad for what one would assume is an asset flip soccer game. It's $2.39, but yeah. FIFA it is not. Okay. How do we want to do this? Do we want to play or do we want to wait? If I play this now, that's 7. And beware the shadow. This now. I think I'm cool to end this turn. We have a game on Steam called Parabolas, or Parabolas, perhaps? Maybe that's how you pronounce that?
Only a fool rejects the
It doesn't look good. Looks like some random 3D items in a random 3D skybox. It's kind of a top-down twin-stick shooter sort of game. And it's $12.74. It does not look good. Let's go over here. And let's do this. End the turn. Okay, so I've made it to Rastacon's Rumble website for Hearthstone, and it's showing a few cards. It says apparently I can view all the cards. No, I don't think so. Yeah, they're gonna slowly drizzle out the announcements of cards, and they have like one one that's a Divine Shield Rush. Lifesteal costs 1 less for each mana you've spent on spells, and it starts with 25. So okay, let's do this.
Is someone injured?
That. Made it to rank 23. Yes, and I just need to play 8 more even cost cards, and I don't want to do that right now, so let's skip over to the Asian account. Yeah, Asian account. And let's see, the Troll Champions. There's a new keyword, overkill, which I think lets you attack again if you have extra attack. And there is Troll Champions, Legendary Minions. And then there's the Rumble Run, a single player adventure. It'll be interesting to see what the Rumble Run actually is. Let's see. So there's a 6 mana, 4 attack, 4 durability weapon that has overkill. It says you may attack again if you, I assume, attack something with less than 4 health. Let's see, nothing to spin here, so overload and spells would work pretty well. So token shaman, or do we have an overload shaman here? Yeah, if we come over here and just play this, that'll work better. There's a new 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health pirate that summons a 1/1 pirate every time the hero attacks. And then there's a 4 mana, 0 attack, 3 health a minion that has stealth for 1 turn, and your minions battle cries and combos trigger twice. Interesting.
For Doomhammer.
Interesting that they would trigger twice. That's pretty crazy as far as a card. Seems like they're adding some kind of crazy cards. Let's see. Guess I'm supposed to be overloading, but I also want to play spells. So let's try to get some more spells. Mechanics. Spirits are special minions with the abilities that can turn the tide of battle. Exclusive creatures. Spirits enjoy stealth for the first turn of their play. Rumble Run. Time to throw down 8 of the most fearsome troll contenders stand between you and ultimate glory. So it seems like Rumble Run is just another dungeon run type game. Whatever. Shrines. Let's see. Apparently you can have these shrines that will give you special bonuses, and when you win you get some upgrades. There's a pre-purchase bonus called the Challengers Bundle. It gives you 17 packs for $20 US, or you can get the real bundle, which is the new alternate shaman hero character, which is the robot character we saw earlier today in the stream, and 50 card packs, and the card back.
I wonder.
Let's just go ahead and end the turn there. And yeah, this website doesn't really have anything else to say or show right now. We'll look at all the new cards when they get added into the app, like I usually do, and that is going to be a nightmare to cover yet another expansion while trying to do the end of the year content. But it gets me views, so might as well do it. Let's see, we have a game on Steam called Dark Parallels, The Match Girls Lost Paradise Collector's Edition. It's a hidden object game from Big Fish Games for $13.99. Price is going up. Man, the price keeps going up. I guess I could do this.
I knew it.
Go ahead and play this. Well, I'm definitely not putting any more Big Fish Game hidden object games on my wish list. Next we have a game on Steam that's a demo called the Anomaly Demo. It's tagged sexual content. Looks like it's a more Western visual novel. It's animated pretty nicely. It's slightly more Western in its animation of the characters. Still pretty anime in its art style. What can I do? I guess just this. Well, this is literally a demo, so unless this game also, unless the actual game came out. No, it didn't. Interesting. It's just the demo came out. And usually what's on Steam does not get notifications of demos coming out. Yeah, it doesn't look that interesting of a game though, so
I wonder.
I'll close that. Guess we do this.
Job done.
And guess we keep playing. We have a game on Steam called Lover's Smile, which seems like it's a simplistic physics game. Doesn't look particularly interesting. It's $1.19. I think at this point also I've decided that I'm not gonna bother to watch the video that Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, put out. Like, it's been a few days and
Elements guide me.
like it's been about a week or two and I'm not getting around to it, so I kind of don't care what she has to say. Honestly, like, you can't really trust a YouTuber and what they say. The YouTube employees, either they don't know what's really going on, or they literally are telling you the wrong thing just to screw with you. Take your pick.
Elements guide me. Job's done.
We have a game on Steam called Lost Artifacts Time Machine. Looks like it's a kids game, adventure game of some sort, although it looks like more of a real-time strategy game. $8.99, and it would be, I guess, a continuation of Lost Artifacts. Yeah, this doesn't look that interesting though. It looks like a resource management game. Alright. 8-2 damage. Let's go ahead and overload this. Play this. I'm really just trying to play cards. So I'm gonna hit my own guy. And
Elements
attack
guide me.
here. Next we have a game on Steam called There's No Turning Back. It's an RPG Maker looking game. Looks pretty dull, pretty generic. For $5.19 discounted.
Science overwhelming.
That one. And that one. Need to overload a couple more times. We've got a game on Steam called True Fear Forsaken Souls. It says it's a point and click adventure game. Now it is a point and click adventure game, so I'm a sucker for those. And it's part of a series. It's probably not that good, but I'm gonna put it on the fall list just because I'm such a sucker. $8.99 too. I really am gonna have to learn to stop being such a sucker for point and click adventures and play only like the best of ones that are recognizable. And in all honesty, I probably should consider having a higher standard for newer ones compared to older ones. Like a brand new point and click adventure game probably should look a lot better than what something that came out a very long time ago looks like. Okay, still just playing spells. Could win next turn. I'm just trying to cast these spells. We've got a game called One More Roll, and it looks terrible. Wow, so many games. Early access, $10.79. So many games today that were just awful. But that seems like that's pretty much the way it goes every time. We've got a game called Time Warpers. Looks like it might be worth it. Let's watch this video. Or I'll watch the video while I'm playing over here also.
I told ya so.
So Time Warpers has a bunch of cubicle insect-like creatures that seem to attack you, and it's a first-person shooter game of some sort, and it's early access for $19.99, and it's just got too many red flags around it to make me think that it actually is good. My chat keeps disconnecting and reconnecting, so apologies if I don't see somebody's post. We have a game on Steam called Zombie Bitcoin Defense. It's $1.99. I don't need to show you that. It's clearly, obviously, a low effort game, troll game. 1 damage all minions? I don't think I would like to do that. We have a game on Steam called Nano Nebula, which has a slightly interesting artistic style, but it does feel kind of empty. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to be really, really generous with this game, because the screenshots look kind of good, although this one seems to not match the artistic style. I'll have to watch the gameplay and see
What to do?
Alright, 1 damage all minions. How about we do this? And how about we do this? And how about we do this? And let's see what happens now.
So
Just play all the cards. Okay, so Nano Nebula requires a VR headset, which I kind of want to use as a strike against it, but honestly, that's probably not very fair. It's $14.99. You know what, I guess I can use VR as an example of why a game wouldn't be good because it's certainly not going to play well, or play like a regular video game where you can run all over the place. Next we have a game on Steam called SU Hack. I would assume that's Super User Hack, as in Linux Super User. and
I hope you like my
the
invention.
command line, the bash console. This looks like a pretty cheap, ugly hacking sim game, of which I have quite a few already on my wish list. This is early access for $4.49. Yeah, I don't think I need another bad one. Let's see. I'm getting to play all my overload cards. Only have a few more games. Here we have a troll game, I assume, because it is called, as best as I can tell, just communism. And then a bunch of either Chinese or Japanese characters, Asian characters in front of the name. This is a low effort game, it seems. Looks like it's just slide puzzles with anime girls that they're not even like in bikinis or anything, they're just stolen art in general. Totally a troll game. Let's come over here. Next we have Hentai Casino, another low effort, I assume Chinese game. It seems like you're playing solitaire and getting shown pictures, which seem to be, in this instance, a mix of both animated and not animated pictures as far as the screenshots are going, which that usually doesn't go over well, frankly. You're mixing your markets.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Let's see.
For vengeance.
And then there's a game called King of Queendoms. It's tagged sexual content. Yeah. I'm not sure about this one either. Seems like this is probably a troll game too, but it has a little bit too much polish on it, frankly.
Job's done.
So I'm watching the video and the trailer. Let's see what kind of how this works. Skip, 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 skip. I might follow King of Queendoms and see if it's actually reviewed well, but it probably isn't. It's probably just a cheap sex game.
Job's done.
We don't need to talk about that article.
I'll show them.
We have a game on Steam called Game Ellen. Interesting. It looks like it's a kinda ugly platform. Let's see. But then it definitely looks like it has some interesting visuals too. And it's $2.39. So I feel like I want to put this on the follow list and keep an eye on it. It's probably not good enough. It's probably too simplistic of levels, but I think I'll be a little generous. Okay. And that was 16 of 40 spells I cast. Is there perhaps a reason to switch? Yeah, we could come over here and play Spell Hunter instead and play more spells and get it done quicker. And we have another game that is a asset flip sex game. It's literally topless 3D models. It looks like running around with guns, shooting zombies. Yep, called Ultimate Hard Base Defense or Hard Bass Defense.
You asked for it.
Early access for $1.39. No, thank you. Not buying any troll games or low effort games. Let's do that, and that. Just get rid of them all. And we have a game on Steam called Ash of War. It looks like it might be an asset flip game. There's a lot of variety I'm seeing here visually. I'll watch this video as I'm playing. Just in that turn, I guess. This video does not show me anything. Yeah, it seems like there are shooting sequences and flashbacks to being in a war zone and being out of the war zone, and it's almost as if the main character you're playing as is suffering from hallucinations and PTSD.
Quickly.
Go and play that. But the vast majority of what I'm seeing from this game is nothing, just a desire to hide the fact that there is no game here. It's $13.49 discounted. This developer hasn't made anything else. This really just feels like shenanigans. It feels like they're trying to pretend that there's a game there, but it really isn't. Let's see. We can do this. We can do that. We can return. Next we have a massive multiplayer game called The Wall, which seems like it might be again a politically charged troll game. If it isn't, it doesn't really matter. It's still just an asset flip game in early access for $14.99. But yeah, it does feel like it's trying to make a political statement, having characters with blue skin and yellow skin. Let's hit that and do that. And in the turn. Oh, I suppose I should mention that Fortnite's cube turned into a butterfly. What that really means otherwise, I don't know. It probably means the Fortnite map is going to change and just continuously change. I think that's the general concept. We could do this, but then we couldn't play this. We could do this, and let's see, what do we have already? We'll take explosive trap. And do that. TechRaptor has an article, Overwatch Lego now available to order, new Nerf products and more on the way. It looks like there's also a Funko Pop of the newest character that's going to be added from Overwatch, so yeah. It looks like Hasbro's got some Overwatch figurines of sort. Where are these toys being sold these days is a good question. Maybe GameStop, because certainly it's not Toys R Us. Having seen a few more of the Lego Overwatch sets and being a fan of Lego, I'm still very much not impressed. It still definitely doesn't look anything like what well, it just doesn't feel like it honestly matches anything regardless.
I hunt alone.
It feels a lot like the Lego Friends series when that first came out, where nothing seemed to have that same style. Alright.
Science overwhelming.
Now I am at the Humble Store,
Reality.
and we are 2.5 hours into this recording, so let's see. What do we have for bundles? There is the WB Classic bundle, which I believe is about to end really quickly. Let's see.
I hunt alone.
Let's see if we can take a victory here. Yeah, the WB Classic bundle is still going for a short time. The RPG Maker bundle is going. The THQ Nordic PlayStation bundle for PlayStation games, and the Day of the Devs 2008 bundle. I think maybe that's the newest one. Let's see. Yeah, if I just keep going down this route, I'll play all the spell cards. Let's see, Day of the Devs. I'm thinking of getting the Day of the Devs Tier 2 because I can get Rhyme and Ukulele. And I'd also get Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number. And I already own Full Throttle Remastered, which is pay what you want, so pay at least $1 for a Steam key. But I don't own Burly Minute C, which is the other thing at the lowest tier. And if I paid $12, I would get Hyperlight Drifter and Minute, and it might just be worth it to buy all of those. Like that. That being said, the Steam Black Friday sale, whatever, is gonna come in about 20 days. So yeah, that's gonna kind of suck too. And see, at this point I can go back to my Twitter feed as we play this final game, and I don't think I can actually do too much, so I'm gonna be in kind of a weird position here in a second. TechRaptor has an article, Red Dead Redemption 2 players glitched their way into Mexico. Which, okay. We could look at that article and see if you see anything in Mexico. That's the edge of the border, as I understand it. Although you do go into Mexico in the previous game. There's a game on Steam called VR Rome. We'll look at that. But there probably aren't too many new things to talk about on my Twitter feed. Because I looked at it before we start streaming.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
A game called Song of Memories for the PlayStation 4 went up on Gamefly. There's a game on Steam called Not My Day. We'll look at that. Apparently the game The Forest has sold over 5.3 million copies. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna remove that from my wish list if it is there. I find it a little unlikely that I would play that. Let's keep on scrolling down. An hour ago, Hearthstone episode 1068 aired on my channel. A sunset Overdrive entry appears on the Steam database. Wasn't it on Steam at some point? According to Gematsu? That might be slightly interesting, but probably not so much. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I've got as far as new tweets. There's 5 new tweets, and that was it. And I'm gonna lose either way. Am I not? Guess I can do this and this. And I can play this and play this. Just so I can cast spell cards.
Job's done.
Yeah, it seems like the glitching into Mexico really doesn't do anything for you. You're just looking over at a hill. Let's see, this game, VR Rome. Looks slightly interesting. Looks like a real VR educational game, so I'll put that on the follow list. Yeah, VR Rome. Seems pretty educational. How many cards do I need to play? It's just like 8 more spell cards. Let's just stick through it. We have this game called Not My Day, which seems to be walking around a dark forest. It looks like a lot of dark screenshot syndrome here. I'll watch the video. Early access $1.49.
Let the hunt begin.
So we just gotta cast 8 spells, I think. Do 2 damage. Turn.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Yeah, Not My Day looks like it's more of a troll joke game than a real game. I'm not willing to give it even a chance, so I'm gonna close that tab. Let's go ahead and play this.
Job's done.
In turn. Gematsu has an article. ESRB rates Sunset Overdrive for PC. The PC version resurfaces following a Korean rating in May. Update: an entry for Sunset Overdrive has now appeared on SteamDB. Which I guess means it's somewhere in the Steam database. Alright, and that's all the news to talk about, so all I just have to do now is play cards. Play a little Hearthstone and then we wrap up.
We have many secrets.
Whoops.
So here's an interesting question. How fast can we accelerate a game like this?
Amazing.
Because we are constrained by the actions of the second player. If he wants to take as much time as possible, he can do it. He can do, I think, about a minute and a half.
Incredible discovery.
But if he doesn't want to take that much time, we can move forward Let's see. See, he's just taking a sweet time. We've been going for about 2 hours and 40 minutes, so this will probably be a 3-hour episode, which is too long. I should have broken it up in hindsight. Right. Play this. In turn.
We have many secrets.
I suppose it's worth mentioning that Tuesday is election day in the United States, so if you have intention on voting and can vote, or want to at least try to vote, Tuesday is the day to do it. Let's see. And I guess it's only 7:14 since the daylight savings time happened. You know, things that got rolled back. Technically, this would be 8:15 to my internal biological clock. Let's see. 3 damage, so I'm gonna walk. Do this. And attack. Have I played enough cards? I guess it doesn't matter. This will be the last game of the stream. It would be ridiculous to continue. Like, I can do it off screen. I've got a little bit of work to do off screen, but it's not bad. It's been a nice relaxed episode, which is definitely what I need right now. Something that help me save energy for the long 4 to 5 hour games, 4 to 5 hour recording sessions of the Steam wishlist cleanup. This may take several more turns to win. If I am gonna win, it's possible I don't win. I don't want to get overconfident. So yeah, we've got a couple of things here. After you play the rightmost card in your hand, draw a card.
Overwhelming. Science overwhelming.
Behold the tools of creation.
See, damage to a minion. See, I still may lose here. There's still a good chance. If they just play a spell that does 10 damage, which with +2 spell damage, it's not insane.
Behold the tools of creation.
Yep, that's how Hearthstone goes in a nutshell. So I believe either on the Americas account or the Asian account we have one daily quest I need to do off screen, but otherwise we're good. So that's going to be it for this stream. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me, down below there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist, or just a gift card or any game you'd like to see me cover. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.